Hey everyone, this is Jordan from Sleeklens.com, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make a dispersion effect, or kind of a shattered pixel effect as some people try to call it, effect in Photoshop. And this video idea was actually given to us by a member of the exclusive Sleeklens Facebook group, if you want to go ahead and join that. And the person who suggested this is Mirsign Deros. Hope I got that name right, but you can see her name right there. And she wanted to know how to do this type of effect in Photoshop, and it's actually a very simple effect, but the amount of time that it takes, it's kind of one of those effects where the more time you work on it, the better it usually gets. But let's just go ahead and show you how to do that, and we'll work it out here. So I have this image right here, and I kind of extended it a little bit because I want my effect to go out this way. And so this effect is going to be sort of where it's going to be kind of shattered. Her skin and clothes are going to be kind of coming off of her, that kind of thing. And so what I need to do is, first of all, I need to make a duplicate copy of the image. So I'm just going to go ahead and drag down here, make a copy. And so I'm going to keep this one here, and on this one I'm going to go ahead and remove her from the background. So what I can do is just get the quick selection tool and just go ahead and paint over her to try to select everything here. You can be as neat or as sloppy with this as you would want, but obviously the neater you are, the better the effect is. Okay, and we got her separated here. So now what we need to do is just copy and paste. So I'm just going to hit Command or Control C and then Command or Control V, and that'll pop her on her own layer. So now if I deactivate these two, she's on her own little layer here. So now I need to get this middle layer here. I need to just make this a blank canvas here, and this is going to be pretty easy for me because of the white background. But if you have just a regular image with a maybe a forest background or a city background, something like that, it's probably best that you clone out or clone in the missing pieces. But typically these effects are done with a solid background. And just to remove her, I'm just going to get the lasso tool. I'm just going to kind of draw around her, very sloppy like, and go ahead and go to Edit, Fill. I'm going to change the contents to Content Aware, click OK, and that'll remove her from the image. Okay, so now the white background is there. You can see if I just toggle this one off, have a white background ready to go for the actual effect. That was the preparation for the effect to make it turn out as best as it can. So now I'm going to create two images of this top layer here of the actual person. So I'm going to have two layers here. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to go ahead and hide it. And I'm going to take this one and apply a layer mask. So now I'm going to get my brush, and I'm going to get sort of a splatter brush. Photoshop has a lot of them. I just have this one right here that will probably work out good. As you can see, if I just click once here, it kind of has that splatter effect there. And so I'm going to make sure my foreground color is black, and I'm going to have my brush here. And all I'm going to do is just kind of break up the edge of the harsh edge of the figure. So I'm just going to do a couple little clicks, fairly small brush, and just break up the harsh edge, because that will kind of really sell this. Alright, so now that we got that effect applied there, now we can toggle on the bottom layer, and I'm just going to turn that one back on. It looks like nothing ever happened. And so this one I'm going to go ahead and warp this image and just make it really big. So I'm going to hit Control T, and I'm going to right click and click Warp. I've seen a lot of other tutorials with this where they go into liquify and change everything up that way. I know a lot of people are not familiar with the liquify tool, so this is kind of an easier way to do it. And all I'm doing is just warping her just to where she's very deformed, but you can see that everything is kind of lined up. So like the chin and the cheek right here is lined up, and what this does is it puts all the colors out here, and you can see what we'll do with that in just a second. But just going to deform it a little bit, so probably right around there. Probably go a little more that way, so kind of like that. So right around there. So I'm gonna hit enter, and now I'm gonna apply another layer mask, but I'm gonna hold Alt or Option on my keyboard, and I'm going to hold that while I click the layer mask button. I'm going to turn it to a black layer mask. This will allow me to choose a white brush same one we use, but I have a white brush this time and allow me to paint everything back in. So I'm going to take this brush and I'm just going to click right here and you can see what happens. So you can see that it kind of brings that color back. And now this is where we kind of finesse this a little bit to where we want to make some things come through but not have it look very put together. It needs to be very sporadic, very painted back sort of feel. So I'm just going to keep clicking and just take your time with it. I'm going to do a little bit of rushing here because I don't want this video to be very, very, very long. But yeah, just paint back a little bit here. All right, so I'm okay with the way that looks. There's some parts here where you can definitely tell that the person's hair and here are matching a little bit. So now I'm going to change my paintbrush color to black again, and that will allow me to remove some of that. So I can just paint it just like that. All right, so there we go, and that is the simplest way to do the effect. Now, if you're wanting to change some of these colors up a little bit, what you can do is unlock this layer, the warped layer. You can unlock it there, click on the actual image and not the layer mask, click Command T or Control T, and you can move this freely and still keep that pattern. So you can see kind of like I'm doing there. It's still keeping that speckled pattern, but I'm moving the image behind that. So I kind of like it the way it was. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit exit there so I can kind of keep some of that there. But you get the idea of what you could do with that. So that's exactly how the easiest way is to make the dispersion effect in Photoshop. A lot of variations of that effect happen. And some people use different kinds of brushes, but it just depends on what the kind of effect you want to put together. So thank you to Mirsign Diros of the exclusive Sleeklens Facebook page for requesting that video. And this is Jordan from Sleeklens.com, and I'll catch you in the next one.